Hey guys, welcome back to another video on what if Sophia survived in The Walking Dead. So let's get into it. We'd start off by seeing the group who are wandering around near the prison, and somehow Rick and Daryl come across the prison. And they're like, if they could just tell the group about this and they could all clear out the walkers that are inside, they think that this could be a proper base for them. And this could be how it was on the farm, but just more safe because there's fences, room to maybe grow a farm. And overall, they're just really happy to see this. And Rick and Daryl Rick tells Daryl that they should go back to the group and tell them about this, as they could possibly move here. And Daryl would agree with Rick. So Daryl and Rick would head back to the group and they'd inform them about the prison. And the group are reluctant at first, but they realize they can't really just stay at random houses for one day and just move somewhere else the next day. That type of life, they don't want it, because they sort of want to stick to one place, because all this moving is also getting to them. Besides, they don't know how many walkers are in this area, and they haven't seen many. And in the prison, if they could just clear out all the walkers, then the prison's theirs. There's no need of leaving for anything. If they could just start growing a farm, maybe. But they're gonna have to go on supply runs for a little while. But after that, once the farm starts growing, it's all gonna be good. But you could even go hunting. There's possibilities everywhere. And the group would pack up and they'd start leaving, with most of the stuff being in Dale's RV. And when the group arrived at the prison, they'd start clearing out the walkers. And the group, all of them are doing something, except Sophia, because she's not well trained with a gun or anything. And the group would start clearing out the prison much faster, because there's a bit more of them, because Shane and Jimmy survived, and so did Dale. And to the surprise of the group, Sophia would have snuck into the group's bag with all their weapons and stuff and picked up a handgun, and she'd start firing at those walkers, and then she'd start clearing out the prison, helping out the group. And the group and after the group sees this, they'd all be proud of her, as she's really starting to grow. And even Carol is kind of happy. And after the group clear out the prison, Carol would go up to Sophia and ask, "Who allowed you to take that gun? We didn't say you could take that gun. It's dangerous that you're carrying weapons." And Carol would take the gun away from her and she'd say, "You're not getting one of these, and I don't want to ever see them in your hand. You got that?" Sophia would tell Carol that Carl has one, and nobody says anything to him. "But why are you taking this out on me? If he can use one, why can't I? Huh?" Carol tells her that he actually is trained and knows how to use it properly, but it could be dangerous if you're using it, because you don't know how to put it to proper use and you're just not trained with it. And I'm sorry if you feel like I'm bossing you around and but it's not safe. I don't want you having guns in your hands. It's that, your father, even though we both know what type of man he was, but he wouldn't want to see this. We both know that. And Carol tells her that she will ask Shane or Rick to maybe train Sophia later, so she could be happy, but not right now with the current situation that just happened. But Sophia would eventually become happy towards this, and she'd agree to it, because it's actually gonna happen, but not right now, but it will happen. Because at first Carol was just "Oh no, it's not gonna happen." And the group would go out to clear the inside of the prison for a cell block for them the next day. And the people going would be Shane and Rick and Dale, along with Herschel, and also Daryl, and also Maggie and also Glenn. And they'd also bring along Jimmy for this as well. But before we get into that part, I'd like to clear out that Michonne and Andrea would still arrive at Woodbury, and Andrea would still reunite with Merle and everything. That all go down the same, basically. And in this universe, Herschel would never get bitten in the leg, which wouldn't force the group to cut off his leg in order for him to survive, because in this universe, there's more people who are alive that could look out for the walker that bit Herschel originally. And the group would be clearing through the walkers, but eventually they find something. The group find a group of prisoners in a room. And eventually, both of the groups would start being hostile to each other, mainly Tomas and Andrew towards Rick and his group. Tomas would tell Rick that they've been locked up in this room for 10 months, and whenever they try to leave, those things would just creep up on us all the time, so we have to go back in the second we open the door. And at the start of the outbreak, this guard, he told us to stay in here and that help would be arriving soon, and he gave him this revolver. And one of the prisoners, Axel, calms down the tension that's going on between Tomas and Rick. Rick and the group explain everything that's happened to the world while they've been locked up in there, and Rick tells them that they have plenty of food to share if they could strike up a deal, maybe. If Rick and his people help them clear up a cell block, give them some weapons, they can get that cell block, but they don't want to see each other. And on the rare occasions they do, you are not allowed to interact with each other in any sort of way. And that's the deal. We get half the food, and we help you guys clear out a cell block, and we don't talk to each other, we don't see each other, and if we see each other, it's rare occasions, we don't interact, or anything like that. Got it? And Andrew would end up convincing Tomas to eventually, reconcile with Rick and maybe get the cell block, and then they'll all be on their ways, and besides, they've still got plenty of food left after this. Tomas tells Rick to hand over some weapons for his people. Shane tells Tomas to stop acting so tough, as he's not him. And Shane tells Tomas that he could blow his head off right now with his shotgun if he wanted. And Shane would tell Dale to go get T-Dog for this. And Dale would bring T-Dog, and they'd all go to start clearing out the cell blocks. And when Big Tiny is saving Tomas from a walker that grabbed him, he'd get scratched in the back. And Tomas thinks that if you get scratched in the back, you die. And Tomas would grab his crowbar and he'd hit Big Tiny in the back of the head with it. And he'd keep striking Big Tiny down until he dies. But anyways, guys, that'll be it for today, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye-bye!